Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are doing this fun holiday, inspired look. It's just very classic. Like, we have the glowy cheeks, the red lip, some soft winged eyes, and I also applied my lashes a little differently today, so if you want to see that trick, keep watching. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Hello everyone, happy December, and welcome to my channel. I'm Kaye. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. I changed my hair to brown and I freaking love it. I just feel very pretty, very put together. So yeah, let's get into this tutorial. So to start off December, I want to do a few Christmas looks, but I felt like just starting off with an easy, simple Christmas look for 2020. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So as always, starting off with my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. You know I love this stuff. It's the best. Just getting a little scoop and smoothing it onto the face. Alrighty, and then I've been liking this stuff, and since we're going for a more glowy look, I'm just doing a little bit of this. I find that it just makes the foundation look really pretty underneath, and I'm just doing a small amount because we're adding highlighter and all that jazz later, and just blending it out with a sponge. And then I'm going in with a corrector. My under eyes have just been so dark lately. I don't know if it's just cold weather or what. So the corrector I'm using is Light Peach by Bobbi Brown. This one just does wonders for me. Just with a little bit of that, so much brighter. I'm actually gonna go in with brows. I meant to do this before primer, but I've switched up my brow routine because I'm learning how to do darker brows with my hair, at least getting used to it. So we're getting used to just this whole new look. But I picked up the ColourPop Brow Boss pencil again because I really liked it in the past when I tried it. And the shade I got this time is Brunette. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this and then come back so I don't bore you with the whole brow process. Okay, so brows are on. Now let's move on to foundation and concealer. So foundation that I'm using and have been loving, as you guys already know, is the Born This Way Too Faced foundation. It just covers nicely without looking cakey at all. It's just so pretty. I love this one. I really want to try, NARS has a new foundation. I'm sure you guys are like, oh yeah, we know about that. That's old news. But the new NARS Matte Complete Foundation, because I love that concealer, but I just haven't tried that one yet. Sometimes with foundations especially, I kind of like to see how people feel about them before I purchase them, because I have so many foundations in my collection where I've just bought them on a whim and then hated them, so I just have too many of those, so I don't need any more that I dislike. And then for concealer, as always, the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. And this one is in the shade Medium Peach. I have like 6 of these. It's an obsession, because I just want to make sure I have the right shade at all times, you know? And it looks like I put a lot on, because I did, but I just want this to be nice and highlighted, and then just going over the lids as well. And then to set, going in with the Beauty Bakery Better Not Bitter powder. I love this stuff, as you guys know. I think the packaging is the main thing I love. Like, I've talked about it before, but that little, whatever you call it, the twisty guy, is a game changer. And I'm not really baking, I'm just setting with this powder, so I sheared it out in there, like kind of, not sheared it out, but wiggled it around so it's more of an even layer. If you're dry, this is absolutely not necessary, but since I'm oily and the oil just tends to peek throughout the day, I'm using more powder. I'm just taking the rest and dusting it on the rest of the face, just so when we put the bronzer on, it's nice and even. Because there are times where I've only set that area and gone in with bronzer, and then it's just this patchy mess of bronzer, which nobody wants that. First, let me set these eyelids. This is a foundation powder that I'm setting this with. Now for bronzer, this is more of a shimmery bronzer. That was so loud, So for bronzer, this is the Laura Mercier Bronze 2 Matte Radiance Baked Powder, which is funny that it's called Matte Radiance, but all right, do whatever you want, Laura. I'm not mad. Okay, so the brush I'm using is the Bobbi Brown Blush Brush, and I'm just swirling this around and going in. And the reason I'm using this and not my normal matte bronzer is just because we don't want to be too chiseled, just, you know, pretty, glowy, natural, all that, you know, dusting across the forehead and then on there, and then I like to go down below. Surprisingly, when products have a teeny bit of shimmer in them, they look a lot more blended on the face, so you don't have to be as precise as you would with like a matte powder. So we did that, and then now I am still going to contour just a smidge. So I'm gonna take the butter bronzer, and then with a smaller brush, just going right where the cheekbone is, just to kind of create a little more structure. Since we are doing a red lip, we want the eyes to be softer. That's one of the keys with a red lip, is to make sure the rest of the face isn't too overpowering. So I'm bringing out one of my favorite brands for these little eyeshadow palette. I don't know why I don't bring them out more, because they're amazing and so cheap. It's the Wet n Wild Nude Awakening Color Icon palette. So I'm taking this top shade, the transition shade, which is a cool tone brown, like it's almost gray, but not quite. And I'm just gonna pop that into the crease, just so we have a little bit of depth in the eye. And then taking this tiny little pencil brush, I'm going in with this champagne-y shade, like this light one, and then this pinkish one. I might not like that actually. Let me try the shimmer in here. So this little champagne-y guy. And then kind of going up here, if that makes sense. So kind of where the crease is going up and just on that inner corner. If you look on Pinterest, I always look at like the pretty Gigi and Bella Hadid looks, and they seem to always do the shimmer kind of in here and up. So it's kind of in the crease just to make the eyelid look a little bit bigger and larger. And I'm just making sure that's really blended. Okay, so I'm taking this brush. This is an e.l.f. All it says is professional eyeshadow brush, so I'm sorry about that, but it's kind of like a shader brush is what I would call it. So it's flat, and we're gonna use this to smoke out our liner, which sounds wild because it's a bigger brush, but it's actually gonna be really pretty. I think I'm gonna take the My Glamour Squad because I like that brown a little bit more. It's a little more chocolatey, whereas in this one, it's a little more gray. I don't know, maybe that'll look better. Let's try the grayish one and see. I learned this trick on TikTok, so you don't go all the way in with the liner, you just do it on the outer portion, and then just take it out. And the brush does all the smudging work for you, so it's just nice and easy. And I think I'm gonna take that chocolate brown from the other palette because this is just looking a little too gray. And then I like to just kind of fluff it onto that outer corner just to make that look a little more defined. And then with a teeny tiny brush, actually just a smaller version of that shader brush, I'm taking the black from this palette and just going on the very lowest part right next to the lash line just to add a little more dimension. Okay, so I am back and I just added some mascara on the upper and lower lash line, but I like to make sure it's super natural on the bottom. So next thing I'm gonna do, I just like this step. I've been enjoying it. This is optional, but I like to just use my brow pencil to kind of draw in a teeny bit of an inner corner. Now I'm going to teach you this fun cheek trick, or this little blush trick. I just feel like this gives you that classic, just beautiful, glowing from within cheek look. So I'm going to be taking this color, Sunset Glow, and you put this on before blush, just over the cheek. And this is by Bobbi Brown. I like these because they aren't like a chunky highlight, they're just a very smooth, pretty highlight. Putting this on first, and this is a brush that kind of shears it out. It's not very dense. I'm trying to think of the word. Like a thin brush, I guess. And then I'm taking a color. So I'm gonna take the color Powder Pink by Bobbi Brown. And this is in a cream blush. You can also use a lipstick for this. If you don't have any cream blushes, just a nice nude color will work perfectly. We'll just do it on the same brush. So taking that and putting that on top. And it gives such a pretty flush of color. And it's so pretty, especially in real life. It just looks gorgeous. And I'm just pouncing that out with my sponge to make sure everything is laying nice and smooth on there. And then I'm taking a little more bronzer, just just because I felt like my face was looking a little fair. Now onto the lips. So before we go in with the red, I'm taking a color that's very similar to my natural lip. This helps so when we overline a little bit with the red, it's not gonna bleed too much. And that shade was Kylie Bare lip liner, which the only thing about these that I don't like is the cap comes off so easily. It's so annoying. But I love the colors and the formula is just so nice and creamy. But yeah, they need to fix that. So I'm taking the YSL lip liner in 1 Le Rouge. I'm actually gonna take a darker lip liner. This is NYX Lip Pencil in Burgundy. And it's kind of a purpley hue, so it'll add a little bit of dimension to the red. And then I'm trying to pick which red. So this shade is called On Fire by Bobbi Brown, and it's like a true red. This is like a more of an orangey red. This is the YSL 74 lip color. Sometimes you have to mix red lipsticks to get the perfect shade. For my lid, I actually want to add a teeny bit more shimmer. I'm going to take Champagne Pop, this highlighter here, pop it on there just to give it a little more shine. And I don't know if you can tell, but this red almost looks pink on me. On camera, it's coming off more orange, like it looks like a better red in the viewfinder, but just adding a little more orange. I don't know what it is, but reds on my skin tone are like, let's be pink. I am going to take these Kiss 11 lashes and I cut out the outer half on this top lash, so I'm gonna take those and put them underneath my eyelashes. The trick for that, I mean, it's kind of tricky to show, so you'll place it on top of the lash band. You can also just take the glue straight to your eye, but I'm not going to do that. But as you can see, it's just on top of the lash instead of just underneath, and that'll make it so it sticks a little better. So I just applied those lashes, and as you can see, it's so natural. Like, you can't really see them, and when you look down, you can't see the lash band. So that is the end of the tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed this look, and if you do any recreations, make sure to tag me. I would love to see them. And make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up as well so you can see more of my future videos. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!